What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back in a building with another episode of the Shop Podcast. How is everybody doing this awesome Saturday? We're hanging out once again. Got another amazing show with the most amazing panel and chat on the weekend. So, once again, show your support. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already. Like the video, it does help the video be seen. That's what we're here for. Essentially, we want the information to get out to the people. But thank you guys for hanging out with us once again. As you guys can see, no guests this week. I figure we just roll with the crew, knock out these topics, and man, give you guys what you're here for. Let's keep this thing moving. Once again, Super Chat is live. If you do want to do that, all proceeds go back into the show, as well as like I said before, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and just dive right here into the panel, man. We're just gonna start with you, Stag. How your week been, brother? I know the stream's been popping, the marbles been going off, everything looking good over there. How you been?
Oh, I've been good, man. Things have been going great on stream. Numbers are really going great lately. The Marvels has been amazing, but got to mix it up a little bit. Just found out I'm a corporate slave, so I feel like I've made it in this world. And man, I just been playing. I just finally hooked up my Series X. We were talking about that. I've had it for a couple months. I know. I've heard enough from people. But I finally hooked it up and played on it, and yo, that shit's mind blowing. And I love quick resume. Like, man, I only have one game on it right now, and I'm in love, dude. I'm only gonna be like one game at a time on that. But
nice,
glad to be here, and let's just get this going.
Let's get it going, man. Glad to have you here every week, man. Appreciate you, Tag. Once again, check him out as well. All the information in the description below. All the Twitch stuff, man. Doing big things over there, man. So shout out to you, Stag. Let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Centurion. How you been, brother? What you been cooking up? I know you got some goodies for us, in between those long work shifts. We were talking pregame here.
Well, dude, I work way too much, but to describe it, I have fun doing it because I literally get to have fun with someone else's bankroll and actually spend their money. And as long as I don't buy something that they can't resell, I'm all good. So, but anyways, finally had a little bit of time to work on a video here and there on a game I'm playing. Also happened to just, I guess, get a little bit of gaming in. But ironically, I ended up going way back in time, screwing around with Blue Dragon. I have been sitting back in the shadows. I was like, I know this game goes on sale around anime month. Anime month is coming up. I have been waiting for this game to come up for sale, and it's on for $5 right now. Nice. I remember when this game first came out, this thing was like, what? It was like, what, 3 discs? Am I wrong? Or more?
I don't remember.
I just remember it was like more than 2, which was mind blowing.
So it was like Shenmue. Shenmue was like that, like 4 discs or something crazy.
Yeah. So I went back and you know what? The one thing I want to say, that game still holds up to this day. In my opinion, the graphics, don't get me wrong. You could definitely tell there could be a little bit more animation to the stuff, like with motion capture and how it's done today. But for the most part, I've seen some games that actually look worse than this game today.
All right. Well, glad to hear that you've been cooking up.
Is that like one you've been making a video on?
You know what? The sad part is, Stagger, I actually kind of thought that. I was like, you know what? I actually saw a game recently that could probably use a little bit more polish in the graphics department.
All right. Well, glad to have you here, man. Every single week. Shout out to you, man. Doing your thing over there, working hard, but still finding time to get the video out. So hopefully we see that soon, brother. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Pong. How you been, brother? How you been? What you been playing? What you been up to?
Man, it's Saturday night. I get to hang out with all of you awesome people, along with this incredible chat with these people already filing in here. I'm kind of jealous of Stag earning his corporate shill title. I've been kind of waiting for that. So
make better content. Stag. That's all I gotta say, bro. Just make better content. You'll get it, bro.
Wait a minute. What does it take to get that?
Yeah, I know. You gotta put out a handbook on how to get that, Stag.
Apparently, you have to have an Xbox light in one of your videos, right above your PlayStation light, while you're playing a PC game on Steam. I mean, I think that's how you do it.
I'm writing this all down. All right, we're good. All right, but no, awesome. Worked a lot this week, but otherwise, just been back into Division 2 heavy. after these updates. Talked about it last week, and man, there's a lot of people hopping in. I've seen more people in my friends list playing Division 2 than pretty much anything else. So it's been kind of cool to see. So just been back on that. But otherwise, ready to rock and roll tonight. Let's dive in and get this discussion going.
Shout out to Division 2, by the way, because Fuzz, we was on that thing for the long haul. I know we took a bit of a break, but we was on that thing when people were abandoned. That thing was looking like the Titanic for a while, man. Jesus Christ. But yeah, they did a phenomenal job, and I definitely seen a ton more people playing the game. I actually jumped back on my damn self for a couple hours, like yesterday, for like 2-3 hours.
Nice.
Tried to knock the cobwebs off so I could figure out what the hell I was doing again. So I won't look like an idiot when we all decide.
Characters running around Washington,
right?
D.C. with a dust trail behind them.
Exactly. Don't even know what's going on. But anyway, man, shout out to you, man, hanging out with us, Pong. Thank you every single week for being here, man. I don't want to cut you off there. I don't know if you were.
Yeah, no, I'm ready to rock and roll, man. All right. I'm good. Let's go.
Let's get it. Last but not least, Fuzz, man, how you been, brother?
I've been pretty good. Been playing a lot of Forza Horizon 4. Got my my cars for the week and stuff like that. But tried to get on Division 2. Gotta make some space on the on the SSD for the Series X. But I got it on there, and I got like 31 gigs left now. So I had to get rid of a lot of the smaller games. But man, let's waste no more time. Let's get right to it.
Let's dive right in, man. Once again, appreciate the support. Share the link is up now on Twitter. Let everybody know the Shop Podcast is live. Appreciate everybody's support. Quick shout outs in the chat. Shown to Mod of the Year. Psychonaut, everybody hanging out. I saw Zink in there earlier. Everybody here. Appreciate you guys loving support. Everybody watching, not in the chat. Once again, retweet the link. Let everybody know we're live. Hit the like button. Super Chat is live as well. So let's dive in, man. Poll of the week. First thing we do every single week here. If you're new, once again, follow me on Twitter. You'll be able to see the poll of the week on Monday. We talk about it here every single Saturday on the Shop Podcast. So this week's poll, and shout out to everybody who voted as well. Which Xbox first-party exclusive game are you least likely to finish? This was actually pretty surprising considering the option. So I had Avowed, I had Hellblade 2, Halo Infinite, and Fable. So actually Hellblade 2 edged it out at 30% of the vote. Avowed, second place, 26% of the vote. Halo Infinite, actually 25% of the vote. Fable, 19% of the vote. So some interesting results there. Shout out to you, BAC, as well. Appreciate you, War Chicken. So we'll start with you on this one, Stag. Which one of those games you think you are least likely to finish?
I think I voted for Avowed, but it would be a close tie between Avowed and Hellblade 2. I haven't even finished Hellblade 1.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I probably won't even play Fable, but we'll see. I've kind of gotten into RPGs the last year or two, so I don't know. I mean, like Avowed is supposed to be like a first-person RPG? Is it first-person?
Yeah. I mean, as far as that's the only perspective we've seen so far. We don't know.
So I don't know. We'll see. My game tastes are all over the place and very changed since they used to be. I mean, I used to just Halo and Call of Duty and Gears of War and stuff like that, and like Rock Band and Guitar Hero, and that was it. You know, I played the shit out of those. I would GameFly other things just to try them out, but I always went back to the tried and true. Now I'm like, oh, I want really long games, So, but man, I I'm probably least likely to finish Avowed, but it's out of those four, man. Of course, I'm finishing Halo, probably like 3 or 4 times on all difficulties, and then helping my friends get through the campaign as well. So I'm curious to see what happens with the next Fable. I mean, those are great games, but they've never grabbed me like I know they grabbed a lot of people, but that was years ago when I didn't play games like that as well. So
good point.
I'm just because I don't know a lot about Avowed, and it's a tough one between Avowed and Hellblade 2, because like I said, I haven't finished Hellblade 1. It didn't grab me. Like, it's cool and it's creepy, like in that like mental problems way, and then the sounds and stuff like that, but I've never felt like going back. So
that's fair.
It'll be in Game Pass, so I'll probably check it out. I mean, I check out pretty much everything that's in Game Pass, because why the hell not?
Nice. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll definitely see. That's a great option. I mean, I thought, obviously, I mean, when I was making this, I'm like, man, this is going to be a tough one this week. And I always try and make it as difficult as possible. as far as the poll of the week. So I figured these four options would be real tough. Now, Hellblade 2, that's tough because obviously we don't. I think out of the four, well, I can't say we know the least about that one because I think that would be a tie between Hellblade and Avowed. We don't know anything. Well, Fable as well. We don't know anything about really those three games. So that's pretty tough. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Pong. Get your opinion, brother. Out of those four options, which one do you think you're least likely to finish?
Yeah, I went with Hellblade 2 as well.
Okay.
Just from the simple fact, I haven't finished Hellblade 1 yet. I'm definitely going to do it. I'm over halfway through it. It's not that long. But out of those four that you listed, it just seemed like the most it's the most demanding game from a mental standpoint. Like the other ones, I'm a big, huge RPG fan. So, like Avowed and Fable, are easy, right? And I've played through all the other Halo campaigns, so I imagine I'll just finish this one off as well. I don't see any of those three being a problem, but Hellblade 2, Hellblade 1, from a standpoint, it can be tiring at times just from everything that's going on because they are, bringing that perspective of a psychosis, right? So that part of it can be really draining. Now, we don't know much about this. They're saying it's going to be more open, supposedly. It might have, a bigger battle theme involved, more of the world that's going on around her instead of just her own personal battles. So, it might wind up being, a completely different style or perspective from the first one that I actually, don't feel that way about, but it's the most likely to have that, that effect on me. So I think Hellblade 2's got the greatest chance.
That's fair. I think now to be fair, that Hellblade 2 probably would have been my choice too. I like you said, Avowed, those games like Avowed, those are definitely, you got to sit with those games. That's going to be something we're playing over months, grinding, doing what you got to do. Obviously, Halo Infinite's getting finished regardless, like that, as quickly as possible. And then Fable, obviously, that's something you're gonna have to take in as well. But I would say Hellblade 2 as well, my choice. Now, once again, let us know, chat, what you guys think. Well, out of those four options, chat, let us know. Which one would you guys are least likely, to finish? So which one are you guys least likely to finish? So let's throw this over to you, Centurion, get your opinion. Out of those options, bro, which one are you least likely to finish, man?
So I'm going to be truthful. I didn't vote because I couldn't get myself to admit that I knew I was not going to finish a game. I try to always go in with the idea that I am going to play this game to the end.
Yeah.
But I guess if I had to pick any of them, it would have to be Hellblade 2, purely because I have not I have to still play the first game. I've played, I want to say the first 30, 45 minutes just to check it out. But I will be absolutely honest. I guess I kind of didn't get gripped in right away, so I ended up just going back to the games I normally play, and I know that it's still in my backlog. That's where I don't even know if I'm going to get around to Hellblade 2 if I had to put a name on one of them.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's fair. Once again, it's an acquired taste for sure. And they're going for something a little bit different. That's a game you're going to have to sit with, maybe even multiple playthroughs to kind of get what's going on. Obviously, the mental health psychosis side of it, as Pong said earlier, that's a big deal. Shout out to
and it really has nothing to do with the psychosis side of it either. I love games, walking around, figuring out puzzles and all that stuff. It's just, I guess I just look for games that have more to them. Every once in a while, I'll crave a game like that. And when I happen to crave a game like that, I think that's when I'm going to get around to playing the first game. And that's where I question if I'm ever going to be able to get into the second game, just because I haven't been able to get in the first game yet.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's, once again, if you weren't able to play the first one or get through it, then that one's probably going to be the tough, the last one on the list to get through. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Fuzz. Get your opinion, man. Which one are you least likely to finish on that list?
I voted Fable.
Oh, that's actually surprising.
Well, it's only because I didn't play any of the previous ones. I was on PlayStation at the time, so there's no, I guess, connection for me with Fable. Other than the developer and me playing a lot of Forza Horizon. Avowed is definitely one of those RPGs I'm probably going to try my best 100% unless it's as tedious as Odyssey and what do you call them, Valhalla are. I was able to 100% Origins. When it comes to Halo Infinite, the campaign, I don't think that would be too hard to complete. And then when it comes to Hellblade 2, I don't have a platinum on PlayStation, but I'm about, I think, 70% done on Xbox and completed on PlayStation. So Hellblade 2, even though I think it's going to be a longer game, I'm definitely going to wind up finishing that. But Fable might be the one where there might be so many other games at the time that it may not get as much attention. But I think with Avowed, if any of, I know it was like kind of like a CGI trailer type of deal, but if any of it is remotely close to that mystique as far as what they showed in that trailer, I'll wind up playing a good bit of that until I at least reach the end, unless that's one of those ongoing games that it's like 3 years later they're still pushing out content for it. So I'll at least get through the main campaign.
The thing about Obsidian is that they could, I mean, if they do what they probably are going to do or should do, they could arguably be like Xbox's most consistent studio, like as far as like their highest quality studio, as far as like consistent quality, as far as what people, so that you can make a case, for them to be up there as far as where they're at in the pecking order at Xbox. But that's neither here nor there. That's obviously due to taste and style and what you like and what you don't like. So not gonna get into the particulars, but great opening topic, guys. So once again, that is something we do every single week here on the Shop Podcast. Follow me on Twitter below. Every single Monday, you will find the poll of the week. So let's move on to the next topic, man. So shout out to everybody watching live right now. Appreciate you guys. So we're going to be talking a little bit about our favorite game, a game we adopted here, minus Stag. No, I'm just not playing. Stag is part of this group. Well,
it's cool. I brought the horse.
No, well, wait a minute. We are talking about your game too later.
Yeah. So, but let's get into this. Let's get into it. I don't want to get sidetracked, but let's get into it. So we're going to be talking a little bit about Anthem. The reason being is because we got some information this week stating that EA is going to be, I don't want to say making a decision or just talking about Anthem and essentially figuring out where the game's going to be going, the direction of the game from this standpoint. Last we heard, as far as what was supposed to be happening with Anthem, was we saw some screenshots of some different things that they had changed, and they released some quick notes, and things looked promising, like things were on track to make for them to actually deliver a game, a 2.0, if you will. And now that kind of seems to be a little bit on the we don't know anymore. That seems to be up in the air. So let's go ahead and start. We're gonna mix things up a little bit here. We'll start with you, Fuzz, just to begin this, man. What do you think about Anthem and EA making a decision about where it should go? We've always kind of joked about Anthem on the show. It's been kind of like the mascot of the Shop Podcast, to be honest with you. But it's a game that we've all enjoyed, like internally, as far as our little group here. So what do you think about what's the next step, man?
It's not looking good, at least from a business standpoint. I can definitely see EA just cutting their losses. I don't want them to do that. I mean, yeah, everybody, pokes fun to some extent at how Anthem kind of, went in there blindly, didn't watch the mistakes of Destiny or The Division, and just went in there and made all the same mistakes and doubled down on it.
They made worse mistakes.
Yeah. But I think if they do the 2.0 deal, I think there's enough there. I mean, the flying mechanic is it would be such a waste to just let that go. Like that's
the one thing no other game has, bro.
Yeah, it's a unique mechanic that it's the biggest part of the appeal of that game. And if they can get the looter shooter aspect right, which it seems like they're on the track to do, at least from that recent 2.0 update, as far as the screenshots and such, I would say it's worth a shot. I mean, I know they're not Ubisoft. I know it's not like Rainbow Six Siege or pretty much everything but Breakpoint, because that's about, I think, the only Ubisoft game that flopped out the gate, and I don't think it's made any more headway since. But EA just, I mean, they were supposed to do expansions on, was it Mass Effect Andromeda, and they kind of cut that, and they had supposedly a whole, planned out couple of years worth of content for Anthem, and we haven't seen but maybe a tenth of that. And I don't know. My gut tells me they're going to cut ties, but man, if they do, and yeah, I know every gamer probably says it when they get pissed off at EA. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to buy anything from them, but yeah, seriously, I'm done with them. I don't need any more EA headaches and it's not really even a headache. It's just like, if you're not going to stand behind your game, good or bad, or at least get it to at least being good, or support that you had promised, I'm done. I don't need to spend any more money with them. I'm done. That's it.
Fuzz has officially put his stake in the sand. He's put his flag in the sand. That's it, EA. It's a wrap. But no, I listen. We all know this is something that, I mean, we saw coming. I mean, the IP the structure's there. They have that's the one thing you would think was the hardest part of the game to pull it off, and they fucking nailed it. They nailed the flying mechanic. Like, they nailed it. If we were gonna have an Iron Man game, all you do is reskin Anthem. That's how good the flying mechanic is in that game. There's no other game that gives you that type of flying mechanic, that gives you that feeling of scale, like how big, like you actually flying around Anthem, you feel like you need to because of how big it is. Like, there's no other way to actually get around that makes any sense. So Fuzz, I'm with you on that one, bro. I mean, maybe I'm talking from my ass here, but I'm with you on that one. So let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Pong. Where are we at, man? I mean, realistically, we're dealing with EA here, Pong. So, we don't have a lot of hope, but where you at on this, brother?
Well, my heart is #I believe in Anthem, right? So that's where my heart is. I'd love to see it get a second chance. My gut says that it's over, that they're not going to waste the time on it. And realistically, when you look at it, the only way they're going to make this work, and the only way they could potentially bring it back, is if they were 100% behind it. And I don't even think if it gets a vote of confidence and they move forward, that it's going to have the backing that it needs to actually put out a game that is capable of reviving the Anthem name and obviously following through with the promises they originally made of what this was going to be. Right now they've got a small team on this game, and they said that if they do approve this, they'll double it. But I think, if I remember correctly, and if anybody else knows, you can let me know, but I believe even if they double the team, there's still going to be under 100 devs on this game.
Yeah.
And what we've seen is that these types of games, if you're going to make them work, they take large and incredibly dedicated devs along with a lot of financial backing, right? You look at Destiny, you look at all the successful games out there. The Division had, I think it was 400 devs. Destiny's got what, 800 or 500, something like that.
I mean, that's the one thing, even about those games, is even though I know, Activision was they're horrible, they're just as bad as EA. They did commit to Destiny.
Right.
They did completely commit to the game, even through that rough period, because Destiny went through a period that was rough, like it was dead. Same thing with Division as well. But go ahead.
No. That's the point. Is like, so even if they go through with this and they say, okay, we're going to give it another go, it's not going to be their best effort at the end of the day. I'm not saying that a small team can't do it. We've seen small teams come through with some incredible games, right? But we just know through history of what it takes for a games of service or an ongoing game like this to continue to flourish, because they have to be able to continue to put out content. And EA right now and BioWare, they've got their eyes elsewhere. They've got Mass Effect on the horizon, right? They've got the new Dragon Age on the horizon, right? So they've already got these big games. at this point, Anthem is an afterthought and has been because it bombed so historically. I love the game. Again, my heart is right there. I wish it would come back. I love the flying mechanics, as you guys were already talking about. I loved, even though the weapons were semi-generic or kind of all felt the same, I still loved it. I loved the effects. I loved everything that they had there as a core part of the game.
Yeah.
The story was not up to snuff.
No.
It was, it was another.
The loot, bro.
Yes. Yeah. It was another sign of the decline of BioWare, right? But they did not give it a fair chance. They forced it out the door before it was ready, and it blew up in their faces. So you know what? At this point, again, I love to see it come back, but I don't think it's going to get the proper support to make it happen. So at this point, even though my heart's there, my gut, I think, is going to win out. And I think EA is going to realize that they don't have the resources to put behind it or the will to put behind it right now. And I think they're just going to close it up and move the devs to the other teams onto the big projects they got going on. Obviously, again, Mass Effect and Dragon Age being those two big projects coming up that they need. Again, they need to hit out of the park, right? So they have to make sure those games are up to snuff. Anthem, if it dies, it's going to go, it'll be a whisper. Besides this podcast here and maybe a couple other ones, nobody's going to talk about it. So I think that's the end.
Yeah, no, that's tough to say, man. And we've seen this happen. Last generation, we've seen games that were still in development. So that's a bit different when a game kind of dies part of the way through development. You never actually got to see. So, we kind of got to see Anthem's potential, even though it wasn't even close to what the game should have been. We kind of got to see that there's some things there that were special. And that's what sucks about even having this conversation about a game that should have been a game that I should still be playing right now.
Maybe they'll park it. Maybe they'll park it and then go back to it since they invested all this time and money into it. Maybe they'll push the pause button, park it, get out these other games. These other games become huge successes. EA's back on top. BioWare's looking good again. Maybe they'll revisit it down the road. Maybe they'll rebrand it. Do something.
Good point. So you never know. Well, let's go ahead and get this over to you, Stag. Just where you at on this, man? I don't know how invested you are in this at all, but just kind of interesting to see they're going to make this decision. I'm hearing. I think you let us know as well in the DMs next week. Or Pong. I think I can't remember exactly who it was. Let us know next week. But either way, where you at on this?
Oh, where am I at on this? I think we know where I'm at on this. I feel like it's a fucking dead horse, and I'm tired of, no offense, Fuzzy, I'm tired of people saying I'm never going to buy anything from EA again. I feel that's akin to saying, like, I'm going to speak with my wallet and not buy DLC or season passes. A game's going to come out someday that's blows everybody away, that's made by EA, and where's your money going to go? To EA. That's what it is. Now about them killing it or keeping it going, I mean, either way, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, the game's fun. I enjoy playing it when I do play it. I haven't gone out of my way to play it a lot.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, like, all the things that people are trashing it about, like, for me, that was never an issue. Like, I have fun playing it with my son, flying around and shooting things. And sure, it's a grind, but it's a looter shooter. From what I've heard, the drops could be better. The end game could be better. Yeah, but it still looks amazing. It still plays really well. It could have taken more development time. Is it going to get killed? I mean, I think it honestly could go either way. I think the idea that Mass Effect needs more resources thrown at it to be complete, I don't think that's the case. I think they have enough resources for it already because it's so close to launch. Maybe the other games need more resources, but I mean, how much money do you throw at a project and then like, because they're already working on it, like you guys said, like they have been, like, and then not. I don't know, like, how I guess games get shit canned all the time after you've thrown money at it, for sure.
Yeah,
I have never seen the light of day, but this is already a game out there with a fan following. I just have a hard time believing. I mean, it's EA, so it's not a huge hard time to get rid of it. But this is not EA specific, though. Other publishers have done the same thing. Like not necessarily the exact same thing, but they've released crappy games and we hate them for it. And then we buy it from them, buy something else from them later on, you know, and I don't think we're going to be the only podcast talking about this. I think Twitter for 3 days will beat it all to fucking hell. And then they'll move on to going back to how much you're an idiot for playing on whatever plastic box you play on, and you know, or how you spend your money or whatever. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see what happens. I truly do hope we get something for this game that makes the other people happy. I don't know. It's also like when Mass Effect 3 was out back in the day and there was that huge uproar about everybody being upset about the ending, and they went and rewrote the ending or made another ending for it. I was just like, I played it before and I was like, there's nothing wrong with this ending. Like, why did they have to make whatever? Fans, like, y'all are some fickle ass motherfuckers sometimes. I mean, it's just the way I look at it sometimes, you know. So, I already have. Sorry, I'm looking at chat, but yeah, that's. I mean, we'll see what happens. I could pontificate some more, but EA does what EA does, and we're all gonna respond accordingly. And I'm just gonna be over here like, I got like 500 games to play.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just something that obviously it's been interesting. Obviously, knowing that, you know, we've all played the game, we all have this, you know, we all enjoy the game to some degree. You know,
Yeah.
I don't feel like we're part of some exclusive club. I think some people just, you know, they just jump on the bandwagon as far as the game being bad, whatever the case may be. But anyway, this neither here nor there. Let's get this over to you, Centurion. Get your opinion on this decision that EA has to make.
Well, I think it's kind of funny how you mentioned that the game. Did you say like there's no other way to traverse the game than to fly around?
I mean, there's really no other. Yeah, there's no other way.
Well,
no other way makes sense, is what I'm saying.
Well, what doesn't make sense is if you get into the developer like videos and all the developer back behind the scenes, especially all the you know crap Jason Schreier tried to dredge up on the game. It's kind of funny. I guess the actual flying mechanic of the game was actually taken out of the game at one time. That's why there's certain parts of the game you can't fly because you're in tunnels. So I guess like even they were talking about like you could tell like in certain parts of the game what was the original concept of the character walking around, and then it developed into apparently somehow one of the managers over at EA or executives got a hold of the version of the game where it could fly, and they said, no, this is the version we need to create. So, and now that going back to the mechanic, I think everybody keeps talking about it. What if EA just got a wild hair up and was just like, well, what if we just, you know, cut our losses and we sell the technology for Anthem? Like the ability, like the concept, the ability to, because we all made jokes about how it felt like a mech game or an Iron Man game done way better than anything that's ever really been done.
You mean just sell the whole IP off?
I don't want to say sell, maybe even sell the IP, but just the idea, there's some kind of technology there, because if you really think about it, nobody's really been able to kind of, I guess, really nail it. The idea of getting in a suit, flying around, landing, battling, taking back off, flying. So I thought it was really cool. That's one thing we've all talked about, is just how unique the game is. So I wonder if they are going to, I don't know want to say sell the technology, but just, I guess, use the technology to make other games, because, hey, we've figured out a way to kind of create something really cool. It just sucks the first concept of it is going to potentially be abandoned way earlier than it should be. I want to sit there and kind of praise hope and everything and positivity like I want to, and say, you know, there's no way EA can do this. But when you look at the track record that has come out of EA and what EA does, a company that has no problem shutting down studios is not going to hesitate to shut down a single game. They are definitely probably weighing a lot of options. I'm pretty sure, I hope they take in the consideration that right now their public image looks pretty tarnished, especially with the cut, copy, and paste nature of their sports games. So I really hope they don't take the easy route and just can the game. I hope they take the high road and for once show the fans that they're not going to just abandon every project anytime there's a little hardship. And because I'm one of those people that's a little bitter about Mass Effect Andromeda. People could sit there and make fun about the animations and all that other stuff because it really didn't ever bother me. I wasn't sitting there. Never have I ever gone and seen animations that made me feel like I was talking to a real person. You always feel like you're talking to a drone. I don't care if they're staring at the wall behind me. But anyways, for me with Mass Effect Andromeda, I didn't like the fact that if you play that game, you could see some of the DLC that they were going to cook up for that game. But because, again, it got a little troublesome in the development, they kind of cut ties with the entire game, and this is what we get.
Yeah,
that's tough. That is tough, man. So I wanted to make sure I got to everybody. Did I get to everybody? Yeah, I think I got to everybody. I started with you, Fuzz, right?
yeah.
But okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. So let's once again a great topic. Some Anthem here. It kind of ties the podcast in. We talk about it. We obviously joke about it every week, on the show.
You guys ready for your horse hamburger now? You guys ready for the hamburger steaks? I mean,
hamburger steak. What?
Horse steak. You guys ready?
Horse steak, right? Yeah.
We beat it. Well, we got to cook it.
Well, actually, I want to touch on one thing I see in the chat from Crazy Greek Dude, and the hilarious part is to me is if you want to go see the Anthem game mechanics in their infancy, go play Mass Effect Andromeda. When you're moving around the planet and you're using your little jetpack to kind of slide around the planet and maneuver, you're not flying in a javelin, but when you see how the jetpack works in Mass Effect Andromeda, you can actually see the infancy of the creation of the javelin. Yeah. And that's why I really feel people, if you've passed over Mass Effect Andromeda, but you enjoyed Anthem, go back and give it a second try, and you will actually see some of the stuff that BioWare used in Anthem that completely everybody forgot about.
All right. Well, that's a good point of reference right there. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. So we're going to be talking about a little bit about, obviously things have been completely flipped over as far as everybody's world with COVID-19 and everything that's been going on. So I wanted just to bring this up because I saw people talking about it the other day, or essentially just a couple tweets about it. And I was reading through some of the replies, and it kind of got me interested about thinking about shows happening this coming year. Obviously this summer, and everything with we had the games of summer or summer of games last year. And then we had a few different things. So as things move forward and the summer gets here, and we start getting into the groove of things, and these companies start coming up with events and these events. So I just want to get an opinion on just the virtualization on that. Are we? I guess we're this is just going to be how things are from this standpoint, going forward. And are you I guess you're going to have to be okay with that, but just where does that sit with you? And we'll start with you, Pong, as far as these companies being creative, still giving you that feel and still giving the excitement, because last year obviously was essentially a beta for all of that. They've never done it before. So where you at going forward? Any improvements you think that they can make? Or
yeah, I definitely think, and I think they learned a lot last year. At least anybody who was doing their homework would have learned, because we did have some flops. We did have some mediocre type presentations, but I think everyone was kind of feeling their way through it. I think you can have your opinion on Jeff Keighley, but I can see the improvement that him and his team learned throughout the year, and I'm sure the rest of the industry was looking at the Video Game Awards, and he got a lot of things right. I think overall, a lot of people had a very positive impression of the Video Game Awards, so I think that kind of gave a little bit of a roadmap coming into this year, and I got to expect that companies the size of Microsoft and Sony, Nintendo's already been doing it, so they know what they're doing. Looked at that and said, okay, what are we going to do coming into 2021? Because we know for a fact that 2021 is vital in a lot of ways, especially, we'll just take Microsoft. Microsoft, this is going to be the true launch year, assuming that all of assuming that all the production problems that they're having are fixed and these consoles are now available late summer, coming into the holiday season, this is going to be a real launch, right? Especially, we also have Halo coming out, which they did not have last year. So I think for them, they have to hit it. And I think they're going to ramp up the marketing, which includes these types of shows. So I definitely expect to see a higher production quality. I think I believe that each show will be more well organized and planned, so that presentation will come across, even though it's going to be digital, even though it won't necessarily be live in front of an audience. You will get that feeling like we did with the VGAs, right? So even though the VGAs didn't have a live audience, it still came across very well with Keeley being on the stage. They transitioned well. For the most part, the tempo and the pacing was pretty good. There was some lulls in there, which you're going to get no matter what, I think, with any kind of show. But they showed that it can be done. And, they even got human emotion across, the virtual space when they were able to connect with, the smaller developers who were winning awards, like the Among Us team, right? You felt that emotion still, even though they weren't up on stage accepting the award and crying there. You still felt, how happy and excited they were. So I think we're going to get a lot of that. And it's important that they do it this year that way, because again, they need to get the hype. The hype's big with all of us and the hardcore gaming and our community here and what we see on Twitter. The hype's always ramped up, especially for what's coming down the road. But for the masses and for all these new people that have now come into the industry due to the pandemic and people being stuck at home, it's going to be important for them to get that feeling coming in. Hopefully the world's starting to get back to a little bit more normal. People start having that, maybe hopefully extra cash to spend during the holiday season. They're going to see all these new consoles in stores. Everybody's going to be putting their best foot forward, and all these companies need to have built that throughout this year of 2021 leading up to that point. So I definitely think we are going to see a massive improvement from what we did last year. I think everybody's gotten a better handle on their teams, working from home, and that organization structure of how they're going to fit all the pieces together. And, hey, you guys got to have this ready by this date. You guys got to have this ready by this date. We got to be able to put it all together in a package so that we can present it. I think that is where we're going to see the biggest improvement. And I think we're in for a very, very good 2021. It may not be what we all want as far as the old E3 style, especially us old guys that love that style of, we come to summer, we know what we're going to get during that week, and we're going to get tons of information. I think it's going to be broken up into smaller pieces again, but I think it's going to be definitely more focused. And I think we're all going to benefit from it.
All right. Well, good. Good, great breakdown. A lot of stuff was being said there as far as just, ultimately about where we're at, and being realistic about, what these devs and what these games, how they're going to be consumed, how they're going to be shown, how they're going to be presented to us. This is kind of like like I said, last year was kind of like a beta. Everybody went through it together to kind of see what worked. So we'll go ahead and go with you on this one, Centurion. Then we'll go to Fuzz and then Stag lastly. So go ahead, Centurion. Where you at on this, man? Just, anything you want to see out of the events in particular, or you kind of just, want to see people get more creative, or where you at on it?
Man, the E3 situation, it is, I guess I would have to say E3 has needed to be overhauled for a while. So, if it's time to be more creative, now's the time. I'm just curious now that, it's now that we are actually going to have pretty much Microsoft and all the big players kind of doing their own things. I really hope E3 helps some of the smaller guys kind of really shine. Does that make sense?
No.
Be able to get the spotlight to them, because we all know Microsoft is going to take care of their studios. And no offense, I'm not trying to be a jerk in what I'm saying. I'm glad that they own Bethesda and all that good jazz, but they have 23 studios now. They can fill an entire, hour or two of content, complete with musical events if necessary. But with E3, I really do think it would be a time to, like you said, go back and be a little creative and really go back to its roots and just kind of help some of the smaller guys get their product out there, pitch it, let people see it, get some hype going for it. Because, you know, we could really, you know, we all see that there's a lot of companies out there, just throwing a name out there, something like Techland, you know, a company with a game right now that could really use a little bit of financial backing to kind of get it going again. And I really see that's where E3 could really shine. And that's kind of how it was created back in the day was, you know, it wasn't this big public event that people went to go look at, you know, the next big thing. It was more of a, you know, hey, I'm a game developer or hardware engineer, and, you know, I'm looking for, you know, somebody to want to back me on this thing to kind of help me get it out into the public.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you on that one, Centurion. I mean, it's funny because, you know, as you were talking, I was thinking about, you know, how I felt like with E3 being gone, obviously for the reasons that it was gone, you know, it's horrible, but E3 kind of having to figure things out. I felt like Jeff Keighley, when he got the news that E3 wasn't gonna be, you know, a normal E3, sitting back, like that's his master plan.
You
like,
know, and you want my and
I got the fall with the VGAs. Now I'm taking over the summer. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he kind of put his summer.
I know what you're saying on that one. That's why I just wanted to say that I feel like Jeff Keighley totally missed the mark on Summer of Games. Like,
I wouldn't say missed the mark.
I just feel like he took advantage of the fact that he knew there was going to be a ton of digital events, and like just came in with like, hey, Jeff Keighley's, you know, Summer of Game, and it was like, I almost want to be like, well, I feel like some of these digital events would have taken place regardless if Jeff Keighley's Summer of Games existed or not. I feel like Jeff Keighley's Summer of Games kind of gave it more of a platform, a more obviously a vocal way of kind of getting the word out. But I just really feel like Jeff Keighley was at the right time at the right place. And I just didn't really feel like he kind of hit the mark. But that's my own opinion.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and throw this over to who do I have next? Fuzz. Just get your opinion on, you know, kind of what you see happening this year in that area.
Well, talking about Jeff Keighley, he was an opportunist. He saw the opportunity to kind of seize the attention that E3 is going to be missing out, and you know, did his usual thing. Can't knock him for it.
Oh, I don't knock him for it. No,
but he, with it being his first year of doing that kind of thing, or as big of a Summer of Games type of thing, it needs to be somewhat condensed. Like, I want us to go back to somewhat of a tradition of a week of this be the week of the year where you know what you're going to be buying for the holidays or potentially next year. I would hope that a lot of the big studios and some of the bigger brands like, you know, Sony and as well as Xbox decide to stick within that same week. Let's say just pick a day, whether it be the similar stuff that they used to do where they were both on a Sunday, or one picks a Sunday, the other one picks a Saturday, whatever the case is. I would just like to see E3 be a virtual or digital event for that week, and then have a schedule that makes sense, where you have particular brands, whether they be the smaller indie devs or the larger AAA publishers and things like that, have them have a certain day or a certain time of day. I kind of like the idea that Microsoft did last year with the demos, even though it wasn't quite the demos I was hoping for, or what I've seen, well, not physically seen, but have heard of being at the E3 event. So it would have been nice to have some of those vertical slices, even if they're just basically a walking simulator, almost like the way PT was, or something to that effect, just to kind of build hype on whatever game might be either coming out later that year or the following year. So if everybody plans accordingly, if we a lot of the business, those industries or those in the industry know that it's just going to be a virtual event, then hopefully they'll be able to get all the things wrapped up, get the digital pre-recorded stuff already going, so that way it looks like a professional setup as opposed to something thrown together on a webcam type of thing. And that's all I would really want, is just condense it to a week. Don't take a whole freaking month, because even with a schedule, it's like, oh, well, Tuesday is this, and oh, well, next week is that. No, just Monday is this, Tuesday is this, Wednesday is this, and
Fuzz, I just want to say it wasn't even a month, man. Wasn't it like 3 months?
It was about 2 to 3 months.
That's what I just felt like all over the place by the time you got to the end of the third month.
Yeah, it just dragged on way too long. And I understand everybody's kind of, stuck indoors type of deal. And we love hearing this information, but I'd rather just have it in a week and just spend the rest of the time either playing the games that I already have, or attacking my backlog, or looking forward to whatever game is coming out that, coming week or that coming month. But just keep a virtual E3 to a week. None of this 2 or 3 month stuff. Get it organized. Try not to overlap each other's shows. Like, don't purposely have it where the PlayStation show and the Xbox show are at the exact same hour. Or it'd be nice even if they're not even on the exact same day, preferably. But it is what it is. But just keep it to a week and be done with it. Whether Keeley is the one running it or E3 is the one running it, somebody step up to the plate, make it a week, get everybody in line, and try to work together so us gamers can have something to just focus on, and then the rest of the time can be back on gaming. That's it.
Hey, Fuzz, Fuzz, let me ask you something real quick, though. I don't want to drag this on, but when you look at something like Nintendo Direct, though, it works really well for them. Yeah. What happens if these other companies adopted something like that? Because I think that the more focused, smaller shows, you show off, specific, 2-3 games that are coming out, and we go to that type of format, and kind of break it up that way throughout the year.
Could work.
That's what I envision them. I mean, again, Nintendo's throwing that out there, and it's worked. I mean, everybody knows, like when a Direct is coming, right? Everybody gets hyped, right? All the Nintendo fans are all over it. If each one found a way to brand it, like the PlayStation experience was, if Microsoft found a way to, come up with a branding for something like that and just had these smaller focus shows throughout the year, don't you think that would work just as well?
See, I hate to be the devil's advocate on it. Xbox seems to have a hard time figuring out what their fans want when it comes to multiple.
I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. Yeah,
they want games. That's what I hear.
Yeah. It would be great if they could do something like a Nintendo Direct as well. But I still want like an E3 for the big announcements, like your bigger unannounced games. Still keep that for the week thing, but the Nintendo Direct equivalents, like if a game that hasn't been announced is going to be like a shadow drop type of thing,
right?
Or something along those lines, like have a mini XO or upgrade the Xbox This Week in Xbox or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Upgrade it so that way the focus is, hey, these games are on sale and this game is coming. Oh, by the way, you can download this game that we didn't announce until just now. And that would be kind of cool, but it just seems like they find a way to screw it up. Like they'll say, oh, go ahead and download it, but then it'll be 12 hours later before you can download it, or it won't work because you don't have Game Pass Ultimate, or
right.
I
hear you. I hear you. All the details would have to be sorted out, and they would have to be much more organized, and it would have to be planned out, and they would have to actually stick to it versus doing it once or twice and then we never see it again. It would have to be something.
And then not get leaked. And that would be the other
that
thing.
Too.
They seem to have the most difficulty with that. But
they did great the last couple of years. They've been
they've anything with Jeff Keighley involved, you can't really kind of count leaks out.
All right, well, before we stretch this out too long, let's go ahead and get to the Stag. Just get his quick opinion on where you at on this Stag. I mean, we did the survey. Xbox gamers want games. If anybody didn't know, so go ahead, Stag.
I think EA is going to kill. Oh wait, what's the topic? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. What about E3? I mean, I enjoyed it to a degree. Was that when they did that, like the quiz show thingy, or was that did they do the quiz show thing at another time?
That was the wasn't that the Xbox?
That was during
Xbox
like the during
like
Xbox Fan Fest. That was recent.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
and that didn't work out too well.
Okay, well that was during. Okay, so that's during the whole timeline. Let's hope they can learn from that debacle. Because I mean, I wanted to do that, but it sucked.
Hey, we got some Microsoft points out of it.
Hey, yeah, I did, and a coupon for a thing I didn't need, but whatever. I already had one, and then I went and bought the Razer thingy that I never fucking use either. So I like buying stuff and never using them. I'm good at that. Anyways,
hey, it's the American dream,
right, man? If you saw pictures of my office, there's a lot of stuff in here I don't use. Mainly the butt plugs. Oh wait, wrong show. Wait,
wow.
Man, I forgot what show I was on.
What?
Just play it. All right. So, as obvious as everybody can probably tell, I don't really have a lot to say here about E3. I just look forward to like hearing about what games are coming. I don't care how they give it to me. Well, I mean, stay on the show topic, bro. I just want to know what's coming, like game wise, and see some footage. I'd like to see, obviously we all want to see actual game footage, and then argue about what is actual in-game footage. Let's see what else. Games. Yes, I would love to see some new games. I would love to see the Series X technology showed off a little bit more, and then that goes back to the games. What you're working on, show us what's coming next year, 2022. Because the reality is we're not going to see a lot of these games for over another year that are going to really harness a year to 3 years. That's just really going to harness what the X is doing. You know what I mean? And same with the PlayStation 5. They're still not even tapping either console right now, but I know we're talking about Xbox. But yeah, I would love to see some glimpses of the future, obviously, and I would like to see a much more condensed event. Like you guys said, I don't want it to drag out forever, and hopefully the world is a little bit closer to getting back to normal-ish. I mean, I don't think we're ever going to get back to what I guess was normal, but yeah, it would just be cool to see games and not be so jumbled, and then just have a clear, concise message, and then own that message and not be all over the place. Because I think we can all agree. It's not just Xbox, but Xbox does sometimes say one thing and do another, or lead us astray a little bit. But Sony believes in generations, so yeah, that's I could keep going, but I think that's it.
No. It's a great point, man. No, I 100% agree. I mean, things are different this time around, but I think we all do want to see a more condensed event, as far as the information. I mean, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt because everybody was scrambling. We didn't even know if we were going to get anything last year. So everybody...
Yeah, and at this point, all they really have to show us is games. Last year, they had a console. You know what I mean?
Good point. Less to show this year.
They already announced it, but yeah.
Good point. You
don't have unless they got like some new goddamn Kinect or something, which God, they fucking better not. Maybe an Elite controller that doesn't fail out of the box day one. That'd be great.
Too soon, man.
Too soon. No, but no, I 100% agree though. I absolutely agree. The condensing.
I'm just owning up to my corporate slave. Okay.
It's all good, man. We got to keep the corporate slave consistency.
Right.
Anyway, man. No, great topic, man. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the last one here. We're talking a little bit about Halo Infinite. So there was some information came out, just some interesting tidbits about this game we're gonna get this year, later on this year, sometime in the fall, and things are shaping up to be very, very interesting. So I don't know if anybody read the article or watched the dev diary / video on YouTube, or heard essentially what they were talking about. But very, very interesting tidbits about damaging vehicles and different little things that they're playing around with within the game. So we'll start with you first because I know you said you were watching it before when we were talking pregame. And what are you getting? Anything that you like that made you happy? Anything that got you excited that you're hearing?
Well, the confirmation on the grapple hook as far as grappling weapons, grappling things around the map and stuff like that is pretty cool. Weapon balancing, that's another big one that every game seems to have some struggles with at some point in time, whether there's a shotgun meta or sniper meta or something that they're going to have to nerf or buff or something like that. So being able to talk with the fans and answer some of their questions, I like a lot of their approach on this, their openness on it. Still waiting to see some more gameplay or possibly like I know they got the what is it, the insider ring stuff where, if you're one of the insiders, you can, play the demo or the multiplayer type test rings and things like that. But outside of that, it'd be nice to get some further details above and beyond just some of the community questions and things. But overall, I like the direction that they're going.
Nice. Yeah, and it's encouraging just to hear anything really about Halo Infinite at this point. Any positive information. We've seen, the screenshots and, graphically, the game looks phenomenal. Definitely doesn't look like what we saw, last year, during the summertime for sure. But anyway, let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Stag, just kind of get your opinion. I mean, you're a big Halo fan. You're probably a bigger Halo fan than I am, and that's hard to come by. But where are you at just with the, just the little bit of information we're getting about some of the things that they're testing out within game? Like you said, some of those sandbox ideas, anything kind of get you excited?
God, as much as a Halo fan as I am, I'm like a total fraud on this topic today. To be perfectly honest with you, I haven't looked at it. I haven't read any of it. I've been too busy playing Mass Effect. That's like my third favorite series. Like it's Halo, Gears of War, and then Mass Effect for me. But man, I've honestly so I'm gonna preface with the only Halo game I've never really liked. I mean, I play tested it. I've played it multiple times. Is ODST. It's a good story. It's a good game. It just goes so differently than all the other Halo games that I never really liked it. But all the other games, 1 through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even Reach. I know everybody loves Reach. I don't think it's the best Halo ever, but
I'm not
it's
on
a
the
good
Reach
story. It's a great game. It's a different. If it's different, it's a different way to approach the universe, which I love it when they do things like that. Man, whatever they give me, I'm going to be happy. Honestly, I would love like a fucking Halo RPG. I know that's totally different than what Halo is. You know what I mean? It's a first person shooter, but I mean, like Gears kind of opened it up a little bit, on 5. With not a whole lot, but they did open it up. It wasn't as linear. I mean, Halo has always been like you could kind of do a little bit to the side, but it's pretty like linear. I mean, it's
pretty open based on the map that they showed us as well.
I just mean like the older games. They were pretty linear, but you could still kind of meander and be like, well, there's nothing over here. Or find the terminals and stuff like that and the skulls and things. But man, I'm going to love it no matter what it is. I'm going to buy the collector's edition and all the stupid shit I can get my hands on because that's what I'm a Halo guy. I love Halo. I thought I had a really good Halo collection, and then I saw that Jon Snow guy on Twitter, and I was like, I can never say I have a Halo collection again, because that guy has like an entire fucking basement dedicated to Halo. It's amazing the stuff he has. But man, whatever they give me, I'm gonna be happy. I would have been happy with what they showed me with Craig, for Christ's sakes. Like everybody was fucking. I was seriously, when that video came out and I watched it, I was like, oh hell yeah, dude, it's going back. And everybody was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? And I was like, what are you talking about? It looks amazing. It looks fun. So, dude, I was happy with that. And now that they're going to totally overhaul it and do something else, and yeah, I'm good. Let's do it. Let's play. Give me Master Chief and some goddamn BRs and let's go.
I feel you, man.
And a Needler. I need my Needler, man. I love the Needler. I love that gun.
Jeez. Super underrated weapon.
It really is. People hate that when you kill them with it, too. Oh, my God, they hate that.
Only because they're noobs, Stag. Don't worry about those guys.
Yeah. Plasma pistol, full charge, and then melee them, dude. Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we going way back, man. You taking me back. Anyway, go ahead. We're going to throw this over to you, Pong. Just, we're all big Halo fans at the end of the day, but it's just so interesting to see this game evolve into something that, we're going to be able to play here very, very soon. So just where you at with the new information? Did you read it? Did you see any did you just kind of where you at overall?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, shout out to the ODST Love, my favorite in the series.
Really?
Absolutely adore that
Oh
game.
my god, I gotta block you now too.
ODST has a fantastic. I love the story. I love the way the atmosphere.
The story was great, but just the gameplay just felt off.
Stag, just so we're clear, I'm not a Halo fanatic. I am a fan, but I'm not a Halo fanatic, and I understand why it wouldn't be one of your favorites.
No, I've played it multiple times. It's still a good game. It's just my least favorite Halo.
Right, and I totally understand why from that standpoint.
When I play tested it at Microsoft out in Redmond, I freaking loved it. But then when it came out, I was like, I've already done this.
So, coming from that standpoint, it's just great to see that they're at this point. Now, we can all be disappointed with the year delay, but it looks like they're really, going in depth and taking their time to refine a lot of the mechanics. And that's just going to mean great things for us. I mean, when they're talking about being able to damage vehicles in specific places such as tires, wings, whatever the case may be, that gets my juices flowing, right? So I love to hear that stuff. They talked about going in and creating an opportunity for people to master the weapons so that beginners can use the weapons, but the people who really get deep into it and play the game a lot will find new ways to use those weapons to their advantage. And that kind of detail that they're going into now and taking this year to perfect is going to mean a much more incredible experience at the end of the day for everybody. So that got me really, really excited to hear that this year the game was so far along. Obviously, as we saw and as we kind of heard from everybody, they could have released it last year. It still would have done very well for them. Would it have been up to par for everybody and the expectations? No. And are you going to ever meet everybody's expectations? Of course not. But at the end of the day, being one of your, if not your biggest franchise, right? Everything that, when somebody says Xbox, they still think of Chief to this day. And there's a reason for that. So for them to take this extra year, go back, be able to polish this thing over and over and over again till it absolutely shines. I think in the end, we're all going to forget about the delay. Yeah, it'll always be there because it was the launch of a new console and it was all their eggs in that basket. So, but at the end of the day, I think when this thing releases and if they are doing this much polishing and they are thinking about all these little tiny details, which they would have done eventually, right? They would have updated the game. We would have we would have seen this stuff down the road. But to have it come out as a complete package with all these details fine-tuned, I just think it's great for everybody. And I think this thing has the potential to obviously live up to the incredible hype that comes with every Halo game. And I think this one is going to live up to that. And I think 343 themselves, may push themselves back into the conversation for all the naysayers that they do deserve to work on this title. Or this franchise, I should say, and that they deserve a place, that they actually have taken care of the Halo franchise and it's in good hands going forward. And I think that's what we're going to see at the end.
Real quick, Pong. Real quick.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You say that we're all going to forget that it had a year delay. No. Yeah. J-Dub and Porto Flop will never let us forget.
Like I said, it'll always be there in the background. You're right, Stag.
There's a certain crowd that will never let us forget.
Yep, exactly. Nope, you're right about that. I'm just saying overall.
While they're clamoring for another one and done.
Yep. And they may all be playing it on their their Series S's that they have to go out and get. So.
All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and throw this over to Centurion, man. But yes, we're talking more Halo here, chat. So let us know what's going on. Once again, shout out to everybody in chat. We appreciate you guys so much. Smack that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. So last but not least, Centurion, we're going to throw this over to you, man, before we wrap the show up, brother.
Well, me and Stagger were kind of chatting about this. I haven't really been hardcore into Halo since Halo 3. I remember I thought that when they capped off the series, I was like, hey, that was a good cap off. Then they came out with Halo 4. And I remember the multiplayer wasn't nothing to write home about. So I never got into it. And then Halo 5 came around. And that's when I kind of got into playing I even played all the campaigns back to back, but never got into the multiplayer. So I don't really revolve around Halo. So I'm not reading too much into it. I'll play it when the game's ready. When it comes to Halo, though, I'm excited to kind of relive my youth. I am kind of reading the articles that do come out, like the grappling gun that Fuzzy touched on, like you're able to use it to grapple weapons. It is definitely going to be a little bit of a game changer. So I feel that it is a good time to get back into Halo, because I feel that they're refreshing the game enough to bring interest back into the game for older players, or people that have been around the franchise for a long time, or people that are getting into the franchise for the first time, or getting back into the franchise, like someone like me. So I am excited, but I will be truthful. I don't read or hang on everything Halo. So that's where I don't have too much to put into it, like more than what Pong and Fuzzy have already put on.
No, once again, it's not
that I don't read, but whatever.
Stop that. I don't well, that's the only I did watch some of the developer video, but I'm gonna be up front. I play a lot of ESO. I don't tune in.
When we were talking about Avowed earlier, I was like, I was gonna mention like the fact that you're gonna play Avowed as much as you play ESO or something to that effect. Buy it 7 times like ESO.
So let's put it this way. ESO, the game goes through an overhaul once a year. They do a lot of rebalancing. I don't tune into that part of it. I'm sorry. Maybe that's just me. I don't have enough time to sit around and watch them be like, well, we're going to reduce this by 2%. We're going to reduce this by 10% over here. We're going to nerf this. We're going to buff that. We're going to make changes over here. And like, I hear what the guy's saying on the balancing of the weapons. To me, that excites me. At least I know they're putting some thought into it. I'm just not tuning into that portion of it, but I know that there is a heavy, heavy multiplayer community in Halo that are just clamoring to know that kind of information. So I don't fault them for releasing it, but I'm just, tell me more about the meat and potatoes. I don't really care about the seasonings that you use to create it.
Okay, well, no, once again, that's understandable. We all consume this information differently, man. But I think we're all extremely excited for Halo, the information that we're getting about Infinite. The game is evolving. Whether you like it or not, whether you wanted the game or whether it needed to or not, it is not the same game that we saw. So, for bad or for worse, we're definitely all anticipating the game, and I don't think that's really going anywhere. I think people have other things to play right now. Halo's a bit, just on the wayside, but once we get that information start rolling in, we start seeing commercials and things, I think the hype train is right back in full force. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up on that topic, everybody. So once again, appreciate everybody that came out, watch the show live. You guys are always amazing, hanging out in chat, making things fun, super supporting. Thank you for all the super chats as well. You guys are always, I'm always grateful for you guys supporting us in that way as well. Outside of that, I'm gonna let my compadres here let you guys know where you can find them. We'll start with you, Stag. Appreciate you every week, man. I know the streams are popping off. You guys, please do me a favor. Go to, I almost said Mixer for a second. Holy shit. Go to Stag.
Go to Mixer.com. Good luck with that one.
Go to Stag's Twitch and, man, support what he's doing over there. Great content creator. He just interacts with everybody. Great streamer. But go ahead, Stag. You can tell everybody the same thing.
Man. Yeah, I'm on that, streaming platform. I think it's called Trovo. No, Twitch. Sorry. Or is it Gleamish? I don't know. I might try that one. No, I'm on Twitch. I'm happy there. I was actually there before Mixer fucked everybody over. But yeah, we've been doing it, oddly enough, streams have been going really well, but we're doing marbles on stream. Oddly enough, I said that twice. It's weirdly addicting. I can't even explain it. It's been great, and people are like, "It's just marbles." I'm like, "Yeah, but come play it, and you'll have fun." And it really just it's been great because one of my strengths has always been just talking with, like I do here. I'm in chat, you know what I mean, and I'm talking to these guys more than I have important things to say. So my strengths have always been chatting with the viewers, and that's what I do there. So you guys come check it out. And I'm here every Saturday, and I'm on Twitter trying to be less of an asshole lately. So
I've noticed that, man.
I'm trying, but they make it so hard, or do they make it easy? I don't know, one or the other.
Are you just focusing your assholishness towards certain people rather than just dishing it out to anybody that crosses your path?
I'm trying to, like, as I'm getting a little bit bigger, I'm trying to like broaden the horizon or the audience and try and not like exclude as many people by my rhetoric sometimes. So, but still, like, if you're going to be a ridiculous freaking fanboy on either side, I'm going to be like, I'm going to say something. Sometimes I avoid it, and sometimes I'm just like, thumbs won't stop. I have to press enter. So, yeah, I'll let you guys go. You do your thing. Come check out a stream. I know I stream while a lot of people are working. So, you know, I'm on at 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, Pacific Standard. So if you guys want to come check it out, have a good time, hit that sub or follow button. I'd appreciate it.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you here, man. Please, like I said, you guys do me a favor. Go check him out on Twitch. Follow there, join, subscribe, everything that you could possibly do. Shout out to you, Stag. Let's go ahead and throw this over to you, Pong. Appreciate you, man. Newest member here on the Shop Podcast, but always holding things down. Always good to have you here. Super knowledgeable, but let everybody know where they can find you. I know you've been on this crazy like book tour with podcasts left and right, but man, how you been?
Are we getting our autographed copies?
I know we need it, man.
You will. You will.
On eBay before you get too big, man.
They'll be in the mail. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll make sure.
Appreciate it. No, but man, we appreciate you here on the show always, every single week, man. Super consistent, big part of the show. But let everybody know what you got going on, where they can find you.
Absolutely. Love it here, guys. Again, every week I say it, but again, this is a highlight of my Saturdays. I love being here with this whole panel. Everybody is just fantastic, and I really enjoy it. I look forward to it every week. I can't believe a week flies by and we're here doing it again.
Yeah,
and yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate everybody in chat that keeps showing up every week. Again, without your support, none of us would be here. We'd all be talking into to the nether realm, and that'd be kind of worthless. So again, everybody, love you guys. Thank you all for coming out. You can find me everywhere on at Pong Soul on Twitter, Xbox. Follow me. I'll follow you back as long as you're not an asshole. We're good to go. So
that's a lie. You followed me back.
That's right. That's right. But you know what? It's okay, Stag. I can put up with you're not a big asshole. Okay, you're small.
I don't know.
So
I mean, the thing I referenced earlier might disprove that.
But anyways, Division 2 is absolutely back on fire again. I gotta throw this out there. We got a clan going. Hey, PTK, Fuzzy, you guys need a clan to join, man. We got a good group going here. Centurion, I don't know if you're playing. Stag, I know you're playing marbles and everything else, but open to all. So, hit me up and we'll get you into the clan. Otherwise, podcasting wise, every Saturday night here, obviously, Friday nights on Xbox Ultimate, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. The tour does continue. It hasn't been officially announced, so I'm not going to spoil it, but look for me midweek. Okay. That's what I'll say. Midweek, you'll probably see me somewhere. So,
awesome.
Yep. So
are you going to come on my stream and play with my balls with me?
Well, I'm usually at work when you're streaming your balls, so that's always a problem. But
I'm surprised I haven't gotten a Twitch violation yet. It's crazy, man. All that ball play.
Let's go ahead and get this over. Let's get this over to Centurion before we get shut down. Go ahead, Centurion. It's on you, brother.
Oh man, like Pons, it's another Saturday night. Can't believe another week has gone by, but thanks gentlemen for being here. Thank you to everyone in the chat and anybody that listens after. Be sure to like and subscribe to Mr. PTK Blam here. Awesome guy. Everyone here is awesome in their own respects, so also be sure to go and subscribe to any of their social media streaming platforms or wherever they may reside. But for those interested, for me, definitely find me at Centurion1307 at Twitter, Xbox Live, and of course YouTube. I kick it right here every Saturday night with these fine gentlemen right here on the Shop Podcast, and you can find me every Sunday night on the TXR Podcast.
Man, once again, thank you for being here every single week, Centurion. Once again, check him out. All the information is down below. YouTube channel, everything he has got going on over there as well. So appreciate you, Centurion, hanging out every single week with us here on the shop, man. And last but not least, Mr. Fuzzy Belvedere, what you got going on? Where can everybody find you, brother?
Well, hopefully after the show, probably fire up some Division 2.
I know. I'm gonna try and get my wife to play. Hopefully, we'll see.
Nice. But you can usually find me on Twitter at Fuzzy_Belvedere, PSN Fuzzy_Belvedere, or Xbox Live Fuzzy Space Belvedere. Like I said, either playing a racing game or pretty much tonight playing Division 2 on Xbox. So awesome show, guys. Always enjoy being here.
Awesome, man. And go check Fuzzy out as well, man, on the YouTube, social media as well. All of that is down below in the description. So last but not least, me, PTK Blam, the host here at the Shop Podcast. Twitter as well. All of that information down below here on the Shop Podcast. Subscribe, like, ring that notification bell. Do not forget to do that. Shout out to you, Bacon. What's up, Bacon? Coming in all late, brother. Catch that link, man, if you want to rewatch the show from the beginning. But we'll be here next week, same time, same place. Probably not a guest next week as well. We'll do a guest after that. So probably just going to be us rocking here next week. But once again, we appreciate you guys here. See you next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Please be safe. We're out here, everybody.